What I want to do in this lecture is actually unfold this model as a story, or put the story together so it will unfold. And I've decided that I want to do the reinforcing loop in pieces, and then I want to do the balancing loop all at once. So let me go ahead and edit the story. The first thing that I want to do is to add a change visibility step so that it makes everything invisible except the title. So I'll select everything, say add from the diagram. So notice it adds all of these pieces, and then I want to go ahead and add a group step, which is the bank. I'm doing a group step because I actually want to do two things. I want to change the visibility for the bank. I should have to remember to make that invisible, otherwise you won't see any change. So to change the visibility, and then I want to show the message. I want to take the note that's attached to this element of the model and display it at the bottom, and I do that with the show note message. Now the next piece that I want to display, I want to do these two links, the interest rate and the interest, so I'll call this interest. Tell it I want to change the visibility. I'll select one, hold down the control key, and select the other pieces that I want included, and say add from diagram. So there are 4 pieces. The reason the add from diagram is there is because the links don't have labels on it, and you couldn't select them from the drop down because you couldn't tell one link from the other. So that's why we added the add from diagram option. Then I want to go ahead and say show note, but the note I want to show is only the note that's on interest. So I'll add that from diagram. So first I show the bank and the note that's attached to it. Then I show 4 pieces of the model and the note that's attached to interest. And then I want to show the R1 growth, and what I'll do is change visibility, and I want to do this label, this link, and this indicator, add, and then I'll show note, but I only want to show the note from here. Okay? So the nice thing about the way that the storytelling is put together is you don't have to develop it all at once. You can do part of it, and then you can go and test it to see if it's doing what you wanted it to do. So it clears the model, it shows me the bank, and it gives me the note down here at the bottom. Then it shows the interest as a result of the principal in the account and the interest rate, and it gives me a note at the bottom. And then it shows the bank savings, the other link, and the growth indicator, the loop indicator, and gives me the note off of the loop. Now note that, remember, any changes that you make while you're in storytelling mode aren't saved, so you have to remember to exit storytelling mode so that you can edit the story to finish it. And the last piece that I want to do is to group steps, and I want to do B2 balance. Though the first thing I want to do is change the visibility, and I want to hide this. So I select from model and change this to invisible. And then I'll add another change visibility and select all of this and tell it to add that. Now, if you had 2 visibilities in a row, one right after another, it would do one and stop and wait for you to click and then do the other one. When you put things in a folder, it essentially says do all the things in the folder and then stop. So that way you can actually accomplish several things that would have been individual steps had you placed them at the top level. And then when I get to this point, I want to go ahead and show note and just show this note. And then as a final step, go ahead and show a message and say That wasn't so hard, was it? Oh, and I probably, yeah, that's okay. So now when I apply this, view the story, clears the model, shows me the bank, the interest, the rest of the loop, then it hides that loop and shows me the next loop and shows me the comment off of the bathtub, and then it shows me this message. But I really would like to see, when I see this message, I'd like to see both loops. So let me exit the story, go back in and edit, and create another group, and I'll just call this final. I'll put show message in that folder, and I'll add a change visibility, make that first, and it says primitives leave blank to apply to all, so I'll just not put anything there and it will change everything to being visible, or so I think. So let me apply this and we'll walk through it again and see if it does what I want it to. Walk through the first one piece by piece, show the second one, show both of them, and with the final message. So the nice thing about the storytelling, I think, is that you don't have to do it all at once. You can do it piece by piece and ensure that it's working. I have found that if I'm really editing a story and trying to tune pieces here and there because of things that aren't quite right, it works best if I work on two screens at once so that I can unfold the model on one screen and edit while I'm looking at the other model. I just have to remember that I only save the one that I'm working on and not the one that's in the other screen. Otherwise, I'll sort of screw up the sequencing, and Insight Maker may become confused. But it works really well to have two of them open. Otherwise, I'm looking at this, and if I make a change, then I have to go back and make sure the change was okay, and then I have to open it back up and walk through the sequence, and it's too much churn. And it seems to work better if I can walk all the way through a sequence and tweak it based on looking at it in one window while I'm tweaking it in another window. So that's the basics of unfolding a model. As I said before, the important thing is to figure out how you want to unfold it, how you want to tell the story to your target audience, what it is that they are likely to be comfortable with. If you're unfolding a model to someone who is intimately familiar with causal loop diagrams, then going loop by loop by loop is probably fine. If you're unfolding it to someone who has never seen causal loop diagrams before, then you need to be a little bit more cautious and reserved and unfold things more slowly so that they get a sense of what the relationships are and the implications of them. Now, I said that here we've only talked about, there were no folders in this, but folders is easy. It just opens and closes them. The run simulation and run action steps are used in conjunction with the simulation models and the application program interface, which I'll get to in the next section of this course. So hope you found this informative, useful, and beneficial, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.